Hey, Crafty Karl here on a brutally cold and snowy Wednesday morning in good old Alberta, Canada. And this morning, what I want to do is I want to take a look at the 3D Concepts Oilfield Winch Rack. This is part number 70724 in our catalog. And this is a multi-piece headache rack, oilfield winch rack, we call it. And we designed it after an actual rack that we found online, and we really liked it. So, but most of our headache racks come with a little bit of print remnants, if you want, some supports and stuff that are left in the racks that you just have to clean out a little bit, like say in between the safety bars for the windshield or for the rear window and stuff on some of our other racks. But this rack in particular requires a bit more attention because we leave a lot of supports on it. And the reason we do that is so during shipping, it makes it a lot more stable and sturdy, so nothing gets broken during the shipping process. So anyways, when you get your rack, it's going to come in a sealed bag like this. And this one is for demonstration purposes. So the only thing that's missing in this rack is there's a slip of paper inside that shows the detail of the parts and the part number, what you've ordered, obviously, and stuff. All of our products come sealed in sealed bags like this with that slip of paper inside. And yeah, that's how we do our packaging. So anyways, let's start off with, we'll cut the bag open here. I got all my tools laid out that I'm going to need for this little project. And quite happy with this new tool set I bought off Amazon. It was relatively cheap. It's a 5-piece set there, and it's got a lot of nice little needle nose and cutters and stuff. So picked that up the other day from Amazon. I was pretty happy with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bag open, and we're going to take a look and see all the parts that are inside here. So just going to get my nice new pair of scissors, which are very sharp. And I'm going to sort all the parts out on the table here. So always make sure, for safety purposes, it says on our packaging too, to properly dispose of the bags and keep these away from children and pets and whatnot. So we like that, having that on our packaging, just to be prudent for our diligence and to be safety with the plastic. So anyways, let's take a look at the parts. So the first thing we got here is the rack itself. And you'll see that there's a lot of, let's see if I can get the lighting better here. There's a lot of supports and stuff in here. All these handles and little snipe tubes and whatnot. All this stuff's real fragile. So like I said, that's why we leave it on there. So a bunch of this stuff's got to be removed. It comes off very easy. And like I said, that's the rack itself. That's the base plate that the rack sits in. And we've got a couple of cabinet doors here. They got the nice bevel on them. If you can see that bevel, yeah, you can see it in that light there, with the T-locks. And so there's 2 cabinet doors. There is a cover that goes on this part of the winch rack right here, and normally it would be hinged, so you can flip it up. And then we've got the winch itself. We're going to start designing and coming out with some better winches. This is pretty generic, but it does the job. You put some picture hanging wire or something to scale in there, even a heavy thread, and you can make that look like an actual winch line. We don't have a motor or anything on this particular winch, but it gets tucked inside the rack there, so it would still look, they still look really good when they're done. A couple of our customers have built some out now. So the light bar that goes on the top, obviously, and then there's the one insert. It's got a nice little bevel there too. It goes in the center above the window guard there. So let's dive into this. The first thing I'm going to do is I like to use this pick, and I'm going to start cleaning out the supports, and with the help of my handy tweezers. And then I really like this set of needle nose from the kit. Just a standard straight needle nose. Like I said, yeah, I'm pretty happy with these tools. So, okay, let's take a look at getting some of these supports off. So I'm going to start with the bottom first, and I'm going to take my pick, and I'm going to run it along here, and then I'm going to start to pull these remnants off here. So. See all that comes off the bottom there? It starts to pull it off the back. And then I'm going to dig inside here and start to pull off some of these pieces from the back here. Once you get a piece going like that, it's pretty straightforward. It starts to pull off. Now, when you're pulling these pieces off the back there, you're going to start to pull some off the side too. And that's perfectly fine. This stuff all comes off the side as well. I just kind of dig in there and kind of twist it around and pull it. You can't really hurt the rack. I mean, if you pull hard enough, you could, but you just want to basically start getting them going like this, and that piece comes out of there pretty nice. Same with this one. And all this stuff, like I said, is supposed to come off. And you just got to be careful when you get into this portion right here, because you'll see that handle starting to get exposed, and there's a couple little remnants. See that? Now that handle, you can see that bar is sticking out there, and you can see the pockets there. Geez, the lighting's really bad here. All the tubes and stuff in here for the snipes and whatnot, or whatever other tools you want to put in there, a shovel or anything else like that and whatnot. So, but you can see one side is pretty much done, and that's the other side that's still full there. So I'm going to carry on taking this apart and removing some more of this flash, as I like to call it, and go from there. Okay, so I'm done pulling all the supports off the main rack, and you can see now it's all open in there. There's a bunch of the support material. That's how much stuff comes out of there. So it's basically all filled in here, and those bars and these square slots here and whatnot, that's what's left over, and it's all exposed. So your rack will look like this, and you've got your little tubes for snipes. There's a couple of little resin hairs and whatnot. You can just pick those off with a pair of tweezers or a pair of needle nose or whatever. And no different than you know, a model kit and you got to do some cleanup or whatever, take care of some of the extra flashing and whatnot. So, but when your rack is ready for paint or assembly, it's gonna look like this. So now I'm gonna clean up these remnants, and we'll get into the rest of it here. Okay, I've got the parts all ready to go here. This is the base, the headache rack, cover, the two doors with the T-locks, the insert for the top, which all have that nice bevel in there, the winch, and then the light bar. And the only other thing to do is clean out this part of the light bar, and that's pretty easy to do. You just, like I said, I like to use a pick, and I'll just get my pick in there, and I'll start to hog this stuff out of there. And once you get a piece going, you can pull it out with your fingers, or you can keep going with your pick or whatever other tool you want to use. And you see, it's got to be hogged out to that line there, because this sits on top of the rack itself. So I'm going to carry on and keep plugging away at taking these parts off here. And I'll come back with a cleaned out light bar here. Okay, and that's what it should look like when you're done cleaning out the bottom. It's got a nice opening there, and she's going to fit into the top of the rack now. Now you can see we got the nice light detail in there that you can paint out and detail out with some foil and whatnot. Our beacons there, you could use those and paint them. We're going to look at doing some updated beacons that we sell separately, so you could add them to whatever you want, but do something a little bit better than what's on this bar here itself. So let's take a look at how this goes together now. So there's my base. Get the base down and take the rack itself and plug it into the base, and this is what we end up with. Is it sits in there just nicely, like so. And then I'll take one of my cabinet doors and I'll plug my cabinet door. It might not stay on there. You can always hinge these doors too. One of our customers did that, and his rack is featured on our customer builds section of the website there, 3dconceptslimited.com. But my cabinet doors go in, they'll sit like that, and they might fall out on me, but I'm gonna take the insert anyways. And that little guy goes on top of there. And then the light bar that got cleaned out goes on top of all that. So I'm just going to set it up here. I'm going to actually do this and bring it over there. That's a lot nicer. So I've got my light bar in. I got my cabinet doors on. I got the rack all cleaned out. The base is sitting there. And the only thing left to do at that point, and of course you're the builder, so you can detail these out some more with whatever accessories you want. But at this point, What goes in now is the winch. And the winch just kind of slides in. Let's see here. I think it'd be better actually if I took the rack off, tuck the winch in the back here. There we go. And then I'll take my base. I'll set it back up there. And we've got our winch in there now. So like I said, you could add a motor to that or some picture frame wire or whatever to make it look like an actual winch with some winch line. And then this little cover here. This cover, it's got some rivet detail on it and whatnot. And this cover here slides over on top. And probably better off if a guy glues it, but yeah, it's just not going to stay for me. So if I lean it back, there we go. So the cover's in, and that's the finished product. Of course, once you paint detail it, and we've got a whole new lineup of rigging, tools, whatnot. Some of it's been posted on the website now, and some is still in the production phase. Will be posted in there shortly. But we've got chains, boomers, we've got ratchet boomers, we've got lever boomers, we've got tools coming, shovels, brooms, buckets, hammers, all kinds of stuff that would look just fantastic on this headache rack and on your truck build. So there you have it. Part number 70724, Oilfield Winch Rack, and she's a beauty. So if you're interested in one of these, go to our website, 3dconceptslimited.com. Order yourself one today. Have a really good time building it out and add it to one of your oilfield model trucks. So thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep on building those models.